Hello, I'm Scott Walker of Hallowed Ground Tours in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
And I'm Gary Hernbroth, founder and chief motivating officer of Training for Winners in Danville, California.
Here in Fredericksburg and the area, we've got a lot of history. 4 Civil War battlefields, homes dating back to the 1700s, George Washington's boyhood home. There's a lot of history here.
And as a professional speaker and trainer, I get a chance to work with a lot of different groups, seminars, speak at conventions, workshops, executive retreats, and the opportunity to do something in an area such as this, which is so historical, is really a neat thing.
We know that there are lots of things to learn from history, but we've found a way to involve your group and to learn things that are applicable to today in the 21st century.
For those of you that plan meetings, conferences, group events, step out of the ballroom is what we're saying. Step out of the classic hotel ballroom setting, the ropes courses, all those things have been done.
Recently, Gary and I took a group that he'll talk about to the Battle of Chancellorsville battlefield. We talked about all those guys, Robert E. Lee, Joseph Hooker, and we talked about the history of the battle.
They were the senior leaders for the Program Executive Office for the Enterprise Information Systems, about 80 people. And they were looking for something different. They had been in the classic boardroom settings, they had been all day in a conference room or whatever, and this gave us an opportunity to work with them in taking their group out on a very interactive tour. Got them a little exercise as they walked around the battlefield, but they were actually looking to apply the lessons of the battlefield back to lessons of business, in what I call battlefields to business, and drawing many of the elements that face the commanders and the armies during those crucial days here in Virginia: leadership and command, communication, use of resources, following orders, succession planning, shift happens, all the elements that you could think of that would happen with a very historical event, in this case a battle, and draw those back toward their own jobs and their own job responsibilities of leading teams and creating success in their own workplace.
You can learn from history to things that apply in the 21st century.
Their feedback to us was that not only did it make history come alive, but history came alive for a reason. And as difficult as it may be for some to think about how relevant an 1863 event in the Civil War would be to something for modern day, we were able to draw probably 2.5 to 3 hours of good work beyond the tour of things they were going to interpolate and take back with them to the office. If you're a meeting or event planner, Scott and I can work with you and customize a program exactly to fit the kind of goals that you want for your event. This isn't our event, it's your event. So whether it's a historical area or a battlefield itself, we will take your people out there to the place where history really happened and apply the lessons of your business today.
Every tour is different, every meeting is different, every event is different. But as I said, we'll adapt with you and work with you to do what you want.
The group that we had recently had a lot of fun getting out and walking the woods and seeing the hills and all the areas where the strategic command decisions were being made. We discussed the lack of communication because of the wilderness. We discussed the loss of resources and the use of manpower planning. And what the customer told us was that it was one thing to read it in a book, and they had been sent a video prior, and that was good to see too. It helps give background to the event. But what really hit home was getting out to the actual event where history took place. And it was very moving for a lot of the attendees, for one thing, very moving. But it really hit home, and they could really see for themselves where these things happen. And then after the tour, we brought them back to the conference hotel, and we did a workshop, and everyone kind of dissected a certain part of the event and of the battle, and was given a dilemma or some kind of event that happened to kind of talk about it, to chew about it a little bit, to see what would apply to their particular business in their particular job scope. And it was quite a sharing of information. Behind me here is the Rappahannock River in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It was a river that the Union Army had to cross in December of 1862 and attack uphill to an entrenched Confederate line. It was one of the most horrific battles in the Civil War. During the battle, in order to be successful, the Union Army had to use these bridges to cross the river in order to get to their ultimate goal. Does that sound familiar? Many organizations do that every moment of every day.
Hi, I'm Victoria Matthews with the City of Fredericksburg Department of Economic Development and Tourism. Gary was a speaker at a seminar that I attended. He approached me about the idea for doing a Battlefields to Business seminar. Gary and Scott worked hand in hand to make this program for the client. They consulted on multiple occasions with the client to develop a program that exceeded the client's goals and expectations for this event. This was an exacting client who planned everything to the nines. Gary and Scott worked very diligently to plan this event for them, so much so that the client was wildly happy and they are going to repeat the event.
So if you are looking for a unique and unforgettable event for your group or meeting, please build your bridge with history, contact us, and never forget that the roads of history bring us back to today.